Hi, thank you so much for watching your Multicultural channel. My name is Fernanda Vallejo. Today we have a very talented individual. He's a Winnipeg artist, Aidan Ritchie. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing as good as you can be in January in Winnipeg.
So Aidan, let's dive right in. Okay, you're a singer, you're an actor. I'm sure most of our viewers saw you on Netflix. Can you tell me a little bit more about your background experience?
Well, my mother's sung in the Manitoba Opera Chorus for 50 years. So I grew up going to see my mom, at the concert hall singing opera since I could ever remember. And my father and grandfather were involved with Rainbow Stage, so yearly we would also go to Rainbow Stage. But I guess just watching movies and reading fantasies and kind of playing RPGs with my brothers got me, interested in storytelling and playing characters and cinema, basically. My family got me into it.
Your family?
Yeah, my family, yeah.
How young were you when you started?
Yeah, I was 7 years old when I was on stage at the concert hall for Pearl Fishers with the Manitoba Opera. My brothers and I were supers, which is, they're kind of like backgrounds for theater. And so that was the first time I was on stage. I was 7 years old, we half naked on stage, Pearl Fishers. If you know the show, then you know what I'm talking about. And then the first time I guess I worked in film with a role. I guess I was 27 when I, started to take film acting more serious.
Okay, so you had a remarkable career as an actor, performing in different films, right?
Yep.
And also you participate in the Manitoba Opera and Shakespeare in Reims. Okay, how do you navigate between these different platforms and what draws you to each one?
They're just tools, like stage acting, film acting, music. They're just tools I find to express myself or a feeling or an idea. I just, the craft part of film acting, theater, and singing, I kind of just break them down into a craft, and then through that craft, I just have like a mantra or a theme that's discussed either with me and the director or the writer, and I use that as my kind of North Star to navigate all the decisions that I make with the production that I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you go to any specific acting school?
I did professional training ensemble at the Prairie Theatre Exchange. I dropped out of university a couple times. I'm sure my mother, if she heard, she'd be pretty mad. But she knows. She loves to remind me that I dropped out. I had a bunch of scholarships for film and theater, and I dropped out. I thought traveling made more sense to learn about my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
But PTE, I got training there, and then I've shadowed a couple, opera singers, Greg Dahl, Neil Weisenzel, who just had his opera being shown at the Manitoba Opera about Louis Riel, Le Coeur de Nord. So that's basically a lot of apprenticing people.
Okay.
And then PTE has kind of helped me with being a film actor and a theater actor, and then singing has been a lot of just having mentors who work in the industry.
And how the singing and being a songwriter helps you with the acting career?
Well, I always wanted to make movies, but I just knew that the production and process of making a film was crazy. So I decided that I would get into songwriting more seriously.
Okay.
and I would use my songs as a blueprint to maybe later on make a movie about it. So that's how I kind of really started to pick apart my abilities as a songwriter. Is in the long run being like, I'm going to make a movie about this song or something like that. So that influenced my abilities as a songwriter.
Okay, so you've also ventured in filmmaking, producing short films and 2 feature films, right? Can you share with our viewers some highlights?
Well, going to Spain, working on a friend's production before the pandemic was crazy, awesome. Working on a short film in Quebec was good. Traveling, but just the wild experience of capturing things on camera is always insane. I filmed a music video for a musician called Bob Ely West, who resides at Stead Ranch. He's a country singer, and in the music video we did a retelling of the Black Connolly family, which was a family from Ontario that was infamous as criminals, and so we use that story we use that as the story for his music video. And in the music video we filmed a lot of horses.
Okay.
So at one point I was laying on the ground with my camera, because I was camera operator on that production too. And don't do this at home, kids, But I had the 2 main characters riding on the horses, and they're professional horseback riders. This is in Birds Hill. And they rode their horse as I was laying on the ground with my camera, and they rode past me like this as I was on the ground.
Okay.
And Bob, who's also a rancher, didn't know I was doing that until he saw it. And then after, of course, he said, do you know how stupid that was? Because if I would have startled the horses, I would have been dead. So, there's a bit of a thrill with filmmaking because, you want to get shots, and sometimes when you get the shots, you put yourself in danger, which I think, it was a crazy experience. I don't think it would be wise to do it again, because I do believe in safety first,
Sure.
in making films, and that's something that you really have to keep in mind. I think as a director, especially a producer, is you got to think safety first, not just like with guns or horses, but also with providing a space for other artists to express themselves and to do their craft honestly and genuinely, without feeling like there's any pressure or threat to them just being the artists that they are.
Right. To show what you really want to.
Capture
the moment, maybe.
Yeah, capture the moment. But you got to create it. You got to create a space as a producer and director. You got to make sure that the environment's, it's this weird balance where it's like, do your job, but it's okay. Do your job. So it's like, there's pressure, but I don't want there to be too much pressure. It's like I want you to take responsibility for the work that you're doing, but it's a collaborative art, right? It's a very collaborative art, and just like music, being a band leader, it's similar, where you want everybody, the bass player, the drummer, the lead guitarist, everybody to shine on stage, because you want to create an experience, because that's really what it's about, is in my opinion, it's connecting. It's all about connecting with other people, the people you're working with, or the people that are watching or listening, or seeing the feeling the work that you're creating or have created.
So for the people that are viewing you right now, how old, if they want to start with this career, do you think they should start?
Well, I mean, if you talk to your mom or dad or your guardian, you can start right away. Just get a couple headshots and submit to casting directors or theater companies or things like, Winnipeg Film Group, just get yourself out there. And then as well as, if you can start at any age. I just think that it's important for the parents or the guardians to kind of know what their kid is interested in, what they're getting into, because it's
Sure.
it's just like any activity when you're a child. I think that as soon as you know that you want to do something, you should just go ahead and do it. And
Okay.
if you're young and you're a child, you should just tell your mom or dad or guardian that you want to do this, and just continue to get on their case. Like, I mean, school is great, whether it's theater school, film school, voice lessons, guitar lessons, piano, whatever. That's great too. Do you know what I mean? But I think you got to just do. The important part is just doing it,
Sure.
So
Is there any specific moment of your life or your artistic life that you always gonna keep in mind or never forget? Something special.
as a musician, was a young teenager seeing Tragically Hip play at the Forks during Canada Day, and my brothers kind of snuck me into the crowd. I was like 13, 14, and I was right up in the front of the stage. This is being a fan, but I mean, we're all fans before we're creators. But Gord Downey headbanged and threw his sweat on my face, and that was like kind of a blessing. And then another time I sang backup for Heart, the band, and John Bottom, the drummer's son of Led Zeppelin, played on Stairway to Heaven, and we sang backup. And I remember thinking in my head, oh my God, I'm singing backup for Heart. And then Ann Wilson just turned and looked at me as if she knew what I was saying, just said, yeah. We're just working abroad on movies, working in Barcelona, in a bar, as playing a bartender in Barcelona, playing a rich Westmont guy in Montreal, in Women in Car, the playing Burton Cummings in a documentary, and I've done a lot of kind of stunt work as a driver. So I don't know, Fernanda, there's too many things for me to think about, because there's so many great memories of shows and experiences that I've been a part of, that I'm blessed or lucky to say to you all that these things have happened.
Right, and you've been on some TV shows. What kind of TV shows have you been on?
Spence Sisters,
Okay.
which is a CTV show. I think they got renewed. Channel Zero. Pinkertons, I was on the Pinkertons, which is a show they filmed 2 years ago. Recently, Le Monde de Gabriel Roy
Okay.
on Radio Canada. That I think that's premiering this year. Yeah, I was a Russian immigrant in that show named Gretzky, which, if you can work on French productions, or do it, because it's I've worked on a few bilingual, trilingual, whatever, Spanish, Italian, French, English crew, cast everywhere, and it's the best, because when you work with people that speak a different language, a mother language, in my opinion, you get a whole different perspective of describing reality and the world around you.
Okay, and how long takes you to get ready to prepare yourself for a movie? For example, if you need long hair or be a little bit more chubby, I will say.
The longest I've been, I mean, I was more than once I've been phoned the morning of and said you need to show up on set today. So sometimes you get a day and you get called, and then sometimes you get a role and you've got months to prepare. Woman in Car, I had to learn classical piano, and I had to put on weight, so I put on body mass. So I had about 3-4 months to prepare for that role. I Still See You, I had a few weeks, I lost a bunch of weight for that role, and I mean, they're day player. Those were day player. Women in Car was a lead starring role in that, and so I had about 4 months to get in the character for that and become Owen, who was the character that I was in that movie.
Okay. And how is the filmmaking industry here in Winnipeg?
It's great. The resources that we have in Winnipeg are insane. The tax incentives, the people to rich history of show business. Charlie Chaplin, performed at the Pantages back before he even made it big. Green Day performed at Royal Albert before they made it big. Dave Matthews performed at which used to be the Cavern, which is now Happenings. So and that's all part of the arts world. It's not movies, but if you want to get out and do things in Winnipeg, like you get a camera, you get a group of friends, you get an idea. You draw it out or you talk about it, have a think tank, and do it right, for God's sakes, because you don't want to have a gun in your scene and then you have the cops showing up because they think you have a real gun. Do it right, safety first, okay? Or understand the rules before you break them.
Okay.
And call the city up, just tell them this street, we're making a little indie thing, and it'll happen. You'll do it. You'll make it happen. Like it'll happen. It'll be fun, and then just throw it on YouTube or on Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is, and get it out there for people to see. Because the whole point is to connect. If you want to just make it and share it with your friends and family, that's up to you. It's your relationship with your craft.
Yeah. So I'm sure everybody will listen to your great idea. Safety first.
Safety first. Okay.
Okay. What are the rules?
What are the rules? Well, there's lights, camera, action, of course. And that is a reality to making movies. Lights, camera, and then action, and everything in between. So I can't break it down for you all right now, but just, lights, camera, action, think about that. And then with the content, something McLean's son, Paul McLean, taught me, who I've worked with a lot on our shows. He's also a musician and a filmmaker. Was that engage, entertain, and educate are the three kind of things you want to keep in mind when you're making a movie or a TikTok or whatever. If you're working in the commercial world, corporate, whatever. Engage, entertain, and educate. And I like to put in there enlighten. That's the best way to connect with people. If you have that in your head when you're in the principal photography or the production or the pre-production or the post-production, think of those golden rules to making a show, or if you're even on stage performing, think of those rules. Engage, entertain, and educate.
Okay. I read that you were in California, right?
Was I in California? I've been in California. I've worked. I haven't really made the leap to California. I've been. I was there in my early 20s. I'd worked with, a lot of producers from California. They've often tried to. Bella Thorne, when I worked with, she was willing to fly me to California and move me there, but I wasn't ready to make the leap to California. And also, I Hollywood is a machine. It's an industry, right? And I just working on Le Monde de Gabriel Roy, the Radio Canada, CBC Radio Canada show, really just the idea of European cinema. It kind of just draws me more. Maybe it's because my mother's influence, because of opera, growing up with opera. I want to be in more shows that's closer to where Fellini or Puccini, composed his operas. So Hollywood, I'm in a signed contract with Universal Studios a couple times, and they my royalty residuals, as they call it, is paid for a lot of bills. So I'm grateful. I'm not talking down about California or Hollywood.
Okay.
I just, my mind's more about going back to Europe and working on
Europe.
something. Yeah.
Okay. How do you see the filmmaking industry in, I don't know, a couple of years, in 5 years, 10 years here in Winnipeg?
Well, it's big. Like I think there's a lot of guys like Paul Robleskis who's doing the show on CBC, Acting Good. I've been talking to him about that show. Holy crap, for years he's been working on making that show happen, and now it's happened, and now it's third season, which is awesome. Those local talents and local shows that are being shot here is awesome. The Quebec content, the CBC stuff that's happening here too is great. I'm so excited and happy that's happening. So the Big Sky is going to be drawing a lot of stuff. Julie Jets, the things that they've been drawing into, big, tier productions, as they call it, is great. Then things like, Winnipeg Underground Film Festival is awesome for what they do. Nuit Blanche is awesome for supporting and getting artists, filmmakers work out there too. So a lot of great things I believe can happen. It's just a matter, I think, of maintaining a voice and a presence internationally and locally, and not just with film, but with the nightlife, with the music that happens, the Festival de Voyageur, like all these things. Winnipeg, I just made a documentary about Winnipeg,
Okay.
so it has to do with ghosts and the history of ghost whisperers here. It's called City of Soothsayers. And I talk a lot about this in the documentary. Winnipeg is a very special place and has always been a special place where a lot of peoples of different cultures and beliefs and whatnot have come together for thousands of years. And we really need to kind of draw on that creatively and spiritually or culturally and push each other in a, like, I hate the word support because I'm not into supporting like mediocre stuff just because it's local. Like I think that's bad actually for local art. I mean pushing each other as artists and not being stagnant, and if you are stagnant, then build an island around that idea that you have with your art. And through that, I think that the work and the productions and the people and the music and the city will prosper. Finally, because it's been over 100 years. It's supposed to be bigger than Chicago, and it's still not even 1 million.
Son. Okay, now going back to the music. What kind of music is your favorite one, and what kind of music do you play?
I play sad, sexy music. This is how I like to put it, or prairie soul. My influences is Radiohead, or Sinatra, or Sloan. But my music's more kind of like analog The Weeknd, I guess you could say. Not mixes and stuff, but more with instruments. So, a lot of my songwriting is all about love and the experience of love, or in all forms. Wrote a song about when my cousin was he retired he was a captain in the military, and I wrote a song about him the second time he went to the Middle East during the after 9/11, all that stuff. And so I write a lot of songs that are kind of from emotional emotional places. You know, I guess it starts therapeutically, and then I start to kind of pick it apart and edit it, and you know, redesign it. Or a girl doesn't want to love me the way I love her, and so I gotta sing a song about it, thinking that she will love me, but they never do. So remember that.
Okay, drama.
No, I know. Well, it's always.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Nice to hear where the music comes from.
Yeah.
Now, did you learn? What was the first musical instrument that you learned to play?
Bass. I think I was like 6. And bass, yeah, the bass.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And you wrote your first song already at that period, or
First song I wrote, I was 8 or 9.
okay.
It was called Jamie.
Oh, okay.
And I wrote it
Great.
about a girl from summer camp. I can't want to come back. And the chorus was, Jamie, Jamie, you drive me crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I was 8 or 9 years old. And that was the first time I wrote a song. And of course, it was about a summer camp crush. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. And how many musical instruments do you play nowadays?
Ukulele, guitar, keys, trombone,
Okay.
mandolin,
Wow.
harmonica. I don't know, the didgeridoo. I mean, there are instruments. I missed the bass. Did I say the bass?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. So 7 or 8.
So you are really talented person.
And I sing. The voice is also an instrument too.
Okay, would you like to play a song for us today?
Sure. The song is called Listen to Me.
Yeah.
Damn this past that haunts me wherever I go. Try to tear off and try searching apart. Damn this wailing inside through my own heart. Look into my eyes. What I speak of is not lies. Listen to me. I promise that there won't be pain. If we work it out, there'll be love every day. Listen to me. Don't flesh the skin of these bones and tell girl what we have is true love. Whatever she was just a thing. Every time you try to deny all the feelings that you got trapped inside, you just burden yourself.
Fuck that name.
Look into my eyes. What I speak of is not lies. Than me. I promise and there won't be pain. If we work it out, there'll be love every day. listen to me. Listen to me. Down these feelings I have within my own heart. I can better think of you without wondering where you are.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for playing here and singing. To all the people that are looking at you, there are a lot of newcomers here in Canada, and they got talent too in their countries, and they had their professions. What is your best recommendation for them if they want to start in this industry?
Be there, go there. Like if you're from Latin America, go to Hermanos. Like any night of the weekend, go see Marco Castilla play. Papa Mama. Like go see people who are from your country or community that are out there doing that. And just be there. Just being there is a very important thing. Being there, being present with the things, because there's a lot of music scenes, I guess you could say, that already exist here in Winnipeg. And so if you're on the internet or social media, go on there and Google, say like you're Russian, Ukrainian, like Russian music or Russian culture or Ukrainian music in Winnipeg, and see what it says. See if there's events there. Go there. Go to like government organizations that are supposed to be there to support you, like Manitoba Music. Winnipeg Film Group is another thing. If you have the money, just pay to be a member of Manitoba Music or Winnipeg Film Group. Or literally, just if you're a musician, know where the tourist, the attractive tourist places are. The BDI. I used to busk at the BDI every weekend, and I'd always come with a profit. And it was a great place to entertain families, kids, lovers, everybody on the BDI bridge. Busk, like I said, if you're a musician, it's legal here. If you're an actor, get a headshot. Send it to casting directors. Send it to, say, Farpoint Productions. They do a lot of things with non-union actors. Write this down. But being there and researching and finding it, it's here. It is here, and I'd like to believe Winnipeg's a pretty approachable, open market where any new Canadian can come and just say, "Hey, I want to, be a camera operator. I want to make a movie." And if you go to the certain organizations, communities, people will, like me, will suggest things or, tell you exactly what you need to do, kind of thing. So being there and researching are very important, in my opinion.
Sure. Perfect. So thank you so much for coming today, Aidan. It was a pleasure to have you here, and congratulations on all your great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.